New protocol for all you guys. Promise, change the tone. He wants,
I can't tie that
Jimmy.
knot.
No more t-shirts.
Oh, where's Fletch?
Bet.
Where's Fletch?
Look at this time. You guys notice the way he tied that tie?
Let's get going.
Everybody got
How many times do you have to go back around telling them?
Couple.
What's the name of that tie?
The Eldridge now.
The Eldridge
Wow.
knot.
It sounds
When
good.
you, we're not going until you untie and show us how to do it.
It'll take a while. All right, we'll start right here. Thank you so much. Give me a hand.
Hey, look, we have a legend in the back. Look at it. You don't want to come up front?
Keep moving up.
Huh?
Keep moving.
What color is your tie?
I thought it was black, but he said it was blue.
Rick, at what point with a player do you want him to shoot his way out of a slump versus he's taking too many shots?
Well, I think that when you're a player that's struggling, I don't think you can take bad shots to get you out of a slump. And I think that that's when you've got to get lost in the other parts of the game. I think when you're struggling with shooting the ball, you still have to take open shots you're supposed to take. Because you know what? The next one's not going to go in unless you shoot it. But what you can't do is start pressing and start jumping higher than you normally jump, what you practice, or do things that you don't practice in terms of those shots. And because I think that only further takes you deeper into the hole. And but our guys, we told them we're going to take open shots, that the ones that we practice, the ones that we expect that come into our offense. But you're also talking about Jordan Bowden, and I think what he's got to stop doing is pressing, trying to take shots that he knows that he doesn't practice. But with that said, Jimmy, he played really well defensively Saturday, and that's the thing that we've asked him to do. We said, hey, you're not making shots, get lost on the defensive end, find a way to affect the game some other way, whether it's with your defense, which we expect every night, get to the offensive boards, try to get some that way, try to get out in transition, try to get fouled. And so there's a lot that goes into it other than just missing shots, but he defensively was really good Saturday.
With Fulkerson, also throughout the offseason, you were talking about how much more you needed from him this year. Was there any difference you saw in him just in terms of the way he attacked this offseason, just his habits that kind of led to this improvement?
Not really, in all honesty, he didn't, do anything different than he has. I mean, we, as a program, overall, we have a culture where you work and you're going to do certain things, but we're still waiting on him to take it a step further, and he's capable of doing that. There's no doubt he plays hard. There's no doubt that he gets tired because he's in there all too many nights physically, where guys have more weight, guys push around this and that, getting pushed when he goes out to set ball screens. All those body blows eventually can wear on him. So, but I think he can be even better. I really do. I think if he will lock into it even more, put more time in it from his end, both mentally and physically, I think he can be continue to be a much better player.
What is that next step for him? What do you see him do?
That he, what would I say the next step is that he understands that there's another level he can get to, that he's not as good a player as he is right now. I mean, he hasn't maxed out where he is right now. There's another step, 2, 3, 4 steps he can get to, but he's going to have to make that effort to do that.
After you got a chance to look back at the film, did you like what you got rebounding from Drew Pember? And I know you touched defensively on him. What's the key for him defensively? Is it just effort, knowing what's going on, toughness, and what do you need from him?
Well, I think it's a little bit of all that. I do think this is a really hard game. I thought both teams played hard. Both teams were struggling to score, blocking shots, trying to get the ball in the glass to go get it, score that way, get fouled any way you could. And for him to go in the game, I thought he handled himself well with the pressure. He obviously made a big three for us. He defended well. He got tired. There's no doubt he got a little tired, and you could see it coming. He probably stayed out there a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe longer than he probably should have. But he's getting better. I mean, we watch him in practice. We're watching him run harder. We're watching him trying to get into his stance. We're watching where he's not shying away from physicality, and we see all that in practice. Because our practices are pretty intense. You guys see that, but he's making a more conscious effort. And I think the fact that we've used him on our scout team, has helped him some too, just where he continues to get rep after rep. And he's like any of these young guys, he's finding out it's a whole different game than he thought he signed up for. And but he is definitely getting better, and if he will continue to do that, he can really help us, because he is 6'10", and he got a feel for the game. He's sees things on the offensive end. He's got instincts that he's been blessed with, and so all that can help us. But he's going to have to, again, it all starts with the work ethic and playing hard and understanding what that means.
Coach, just when you look at Georgia, what jumps out at them and how tough the cover is Anthony Evans?
But what about you?
Just Georgia, what's your general scouting?
Well, you know, they score.
And Edwards.
Yeah, they get out in transition, score in transition. They really drive the ball hard. I think they're the second, third, fourth best offensive team in the league in terms of the numbers they put up. They really they're multiple in the fact that when you can run like they run and drive like they drive, our defense is going to have to be good. It's going to have to be good not only one-on-one, because they drive it. They drive it hard, and then we're going to have to help each other. We're going to have to rebound. We've got to continue to rebound better. And then defensively, we expect them to do a lot of switching and those type things. And it won't be, I don't think we have one guy that can guard Edwards. I don't think that. We're going to have I don't know if anybody does. When he's on, he's as tough a player to play as there is in the country. And so we're going to have to make sure that as a team that we're locked in, and we've got to get back, and just can't let them get the open floor against us. They're really lethal when they do that.
Rick, where do you think this team has progressed kind of halfway through the schedule here? Where do you think you still need to progress?
Well, I think where we progress is I think we finally feel like the guys we have right now, I'm not going to wood, nothing else happens, this is going to be the guys that are going to be playing. And we're trying to settle in to, Santiago's still figuring some things out. He's going to have to figure out not carrying the ball, how quickly those gaps close up when he tries to get into them. And he's going to have to, we've got to cut our turnovers down. That's plain and simple. We've got to be able to do that. But I do know this, that Saturday as a group, when you think about our young guys, they played hard. And that's what we've been asking to do, to understand how hard you have to play. And for the most part, our older guys have done that all year, but the younger guys would have laps where they couldn't sustain it. You could tell they were engaged, but we started seeing it a little bit last week in practice where they were starting to, I think, realize that, yeah, we got to change. This is harder than what we signed up for. But going forward, there's nothing that we don't have to get better. I mean, we've added some things since Santiago's been here. I mean, you see we're ball screening more than we ever have. So trying to simplify some things for him. I think Josiah's gotten better, starting to get more of a feel. He still hasn't totally got the grasp of what we want to do in our transition game. Our transition game hasn't been anywhere near what it's been in the past. I'd like to see us do that, but there's so many times that we've had to just get some things that we could be good enough to go out and compete with, that the way we really want to play overall, we haven't gotten to it yet, and that's what we'll keep trying to do as we move forward.
Rick, you talked a little about Josiah and what he needs to improve on. After you watched the film from Saturday, are there any specifics you want him to focus on in practice this week and get better, since he will be handling more point guard duty going forward?
Well, I think both he and Santiago both have to realize you can't foul when that clock gets down to under 10 seconds. They can't do that. I mean, they both did that, and this just reset the clock for the other team. And again, the thing that I would say, not just Josiah, all of our guys, is taking care of the basketball. And it's not just our young guys, it's our older guys too. I mean, they're playing a lot of minutes. They're turning the ball over as much as anybody, and we've got to be able to protect the ball, give ourselves a chance. And I know we didn't shoot it well, but we would, we think we can shoot the ball. We shot it well at Missouri. We shot it well before that at LSU, and we had some looks the other night that we're sitting there thinking sooner or later one or two goes in, and if they do, I think it changes everything. But as long as we'll take those shots, I don't want us to get like we were in the Wisconsin game where people were trying to turn down, they were turning down shots and trying to create things that there was nothing there. We were just timid, scared, whatever you want to say. I don't want our guys to ever play like that. So that's why we're going to shoot the ball when we're open, and we work too hard at shooting not to do that. But those guys, again, I say those guys, all of us have to find a way to understand taking care of the ball.
Rick, I think Vescovi had 7 turnovers. Is it more about the speed of the game, him adjusting to it? Is it more about him understanding the fundamentals of avoiding turnovers based on the way it's called in the U.S.?
You know, I think, Jimmy, maybe a little bit of both. You know, now the first turnover he had was, I mean, he literally put his hand underneath the ball, not even being guarded, and stepped a big step forward to get ready to set himself up on the ball screen, which he didn't have to do that at all. At the time, he wasn't even being pressured. I mean, it was just him doing it from a bad habit. Then the way they play their defense, you know, and throughout the game, you know, people can adjust what they're doing on ball screens, but with him, he's got to understand getting in that gap. It's like a running back going through the line. You got to protect that ball. He's too loose with it, where he got it too far away from his body, or people are reaching in. He got down the lane. He threw a pass to Olivier that I don't think Jerry Rice could have caught it. I mean, he threw it so hard, you know. And those are the plays, because he does get in there. He does get there, and he's going to get there. He's more deceptive than people might think, quicker than people might think, and he knows how to do that. But now he's going to have to learn to get there against the athletes that he's playing against and make those plays. And but some of it's, again, him learning. I mean, like when the first one he turned over, he looked at me like, "What did I do?" I said, "Well, you just picked the ball up basically and stepped a foot and put it back down." But that's what he's done. And those plays really aren't called. So those are situations, pivoting. We're working with him every day how to understand he's got to establish a pivot for it. Not just him. I mean, I would tell you, we do it with, you know, we worry about it with Ticket. All of our guys, when they're in a triple threat position, that they don't shuffle their feet, because it's an easy call for officials to make. It really is. And out front there, it's pretty much exposed, and you know, coaches are always yelling for traveling, and so it's those things we've got to clean up, and he's got to realize that it is a different game.
I saw Lamonte was back with you guys Saturday. Do you expect him to be around the rest of the season, helping? I mean, what's kind of the next step?
Yeah, I think everybody was excited to see him. You know, he's back. They've done surgery, and I'm sure he's back here to start rehabbing. And the guys love seeing him around. And I mean, he's going to have to do what he needs to do. Is he back in class? I mean, he's already graduated. I don't know if he finished up. I didn't talk to him about it, because I didn't get to talk to him when he got back, other than the fact he told me he's lost 10 pounds, and he knows he feels like he's got a hole right there where they took that rib out. But I'm sure his rehabilitation is going to be the most important thing he's going to concentrate on here in the next 2 months.
Coach, you mentioned it earlier, Denver being on the scout team. Just made me wonder how much of the benefit have BJ Bailey and Euro's been on the scout team? How big of a help is that?
Huge, Rob. I'm telling you, it's huge. And the fact what BJ has done for San Diego has probably been the biggest thing, because we tell BJ every day to get after him, foul him, do whatever you want to do. And BJ is competitive, and obviously San Diego knows what he's doing, but he's helped. Urosh has gotten better from the scout team reps that he's got, and he's physical. You know, he helps those guys, obviously. I mean, those two guys have gotten better this year, and there's no doubt if they were both eligible, they'd both be playing. There's no question about that. But they have embraced the fact that their role is to get these guys better. And going forward, I still think it's going to be equally important that what BJ does for Santiago, and again, Urosh, what he's doing is, again, he's got to keep getting better, and he knows it, and so that's where our practices get better when we're competing and we're competitive like that, where we're really trying to help each other. And I think Drew, in that situation, has helped him just because of reps, because in practice when we're going against each other, most of these guys don't want to come out unless you've got an ego where you're going to say, I'm going to get back in there, because it's not like I'm paying attention to subbing who's in and who's out in practice. You expect those guys to get in and get their reps. But if you're passive on the side, which Drew has been at times, he's gone where he gets set out 2 or 3 reps, and it shouldn't be like that. He should be alternating every other rep. And so when he's on the scout team, there's nowhere to go but out there to play and get better.
James has shot really well from 3-point range the last few games, and I wonder, where do you think his comfort level is right now as a three-point shooter? How much has he changed his shot since he arrived?
Well, he's changed his shot a lot from the first time that we saw him back when he was young in high school, sophomore. I mean, he's totally changed his shot. If you took a picture, which we have, of what he did shoot like and where he is today, he shows you how driven he is and how hard he works. Because it's not an easy thing to do. I've always said to you guys, if you're going to change your shot, it gets down to that person wanting to be diligent in doing it. He has been as diligent as anybody, and I do know this, that he's confident in his shot. There's no doubt about that. When he gets his feet set, I think as he continues to get better and better footwork, it's only going to translate more in him even being a better shooter. But when he gets stationary, he raises up. He's one of those guys, when it leaves his hands, we think it's going to go in. But we've watched the time, how much time he puts in. And he, I know prior to the, I can't remember what game it was. He was last one. After we met the night before the game, he went back out on the floor and worked on his little skills, little things that he does. And then that morning before the game, he came in and did the same thing. So when you have somebody doing that, that's what we need John Fulkerson to do. That's what we need other guys to do. That's when you know they're locked in themselves and they want to be that good. They're going to, above and beyond what we ask them to do, they're going to do it.
Time for a few more.
How about you, Bobby?
I'm just soaking it all in, Coach.
Really?
Coach, just Tom Crean, just, you know, what about him as a coach? Tom Crean, just what are, you know, are the, what stands out about him as a coach?
Well, he's a guy that, as you know, he's very intense, puts a lot of time into this game, puts a lot of time into his players. There's no doubt he's got a love for the sport and what he does, and he's been successful. So I mean, I'm not surprised at what he's been able to get done in Georgia. And he's been around the game a long time. Obviously, you know, his relationship goes back to, I first met him, I think, when he was at Michigan State. And so he's been around the game a long time. He's been in it a long time. And I've said before, when you've been in it long and you want to work at it, get better, you continue to find ways to improve not only your team, but yourself. And I believe Tom's like that. He's always trying to find ways to get better.
How much do you think these young guys will benefit next season from what they're being forced to do this season, the roles they have to play this season?
You're talking about I think it's going to help tremendously. I think it's going to help us over the next month, what they're finding out. And I think they're finding that out in conference play more than ever. You know, the timing of, you know, Lamont going down and all that wasn't the perfect timing for us. And you look around college basketball, everybody has adversity they have to deal with in terms of basketball adversity. And but our guys, they've done the one thing that we've asked them to do, is, you know, stay locked in, you know, help each other. And I do think the experience that they're getting right now is going to pay big dividends eventually. I do believe that. And I think more than anything, I think it'll help them as once we do head into the off season, understanding how hard it is and how everybody can play. And that you've got to find a way to get better, because if you're not getting better, you know, the old saying, you're getting worse, and I think that's true.
Coach, you want to close us out with your expert analysis on LSU Clemson tonight?
You know what I'm doing? I'm predicting 100% correct that tonight the Tigers are going to win. How's that, Jimmy?
That's not good.
What do I think about it? I haven't kept up with like you guys have. I know people in Clemson are excited. After the game the other day when Clemson were able to beat North Carolina, a really good friend of mine, and a guy that I love dearly, Eddie Dalton. I mean, he went to Clemson. Eddie's in his mid-80s and never missed a basketball game, never missed a football game. And one day when we were talking while I was coaching, he said to me, I just want to live long enough to see us beat North Carolina in Chapel Hill. So as soon as I found out that they won, I called him and I said, well, you can die now. I said, you live to see it. And he laughed, but he got very emotional, which I thought was great. But he was the first person I thought about. I said, you've lived long enough to see it happen. So now it's time. And I know we're in the SEC, but a lot of people at Clemson, but, people tell me that Clemson has a better defense, is that true?
Yes.
So Rob, who are you picking, Rob?
I like LSU, coach.
Dale? Do we get more money if LSU wins?
It's a great question.
How much more money do you want?
Not for me, for Bobby, hey, Bobby, do we? Do the leagues get, how do they profit share that, how do they do that?
There's a 15-way split
It is?
from all the bowl money, but I don't know if a win gets any more than just the fact that you're in the game.
Really?
We'll find that out. We'll revisit that next week.
Will it be politically correct? I'm pulling for the Tigers. Thank you, guys.